Within 3 counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, no? It isn't a Tuesday. We're back on a Thursday. This is Knockouts in 3 counts, but we won't be having our guest tonight, Mason Shilaei, who I am very much so looking forward to seeing scrap this Saturday at Mitten Muay Thai. He's got a rematch against Luke Marshall, which I'm going to be honest, sitting there ringside, which you can go back and check it out. If you're watching this on millions.co, you can check it out. I thought that Mason won the fight, dude. I'm be completely honest with you. I thought Mason won the fight. I thought the judges might have fucked that one up a little bit, but what do I know? I wasn't a judge on that one. What can I say? But that kid can talk shit with the best of them. I think he has a future in pro wrestling if the fighting thing doesn't ever work for him, because man, the Persian Prince is something to see. I would definitely agree with what our guy Andrew from AAO Media said. I think he's one of the most entertaining guys I could show you right now in the world of Muay Thai. I'm looking forward to seeing him and Luke get back in there and scrap. Mitten Muay Thai going down this Saturday. You got to check it out. Imperial House, Clinton Township, Michigan. Yours truly on the mic. I'm looking forward to seeing what goes down with that. And then we've got Tony Harrison is getting back in the ring at the Fox Theater next weekend, and we will be in the building for that. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We will be joined by both Tony Harrison and Dimitri Salita, who has plenty to talk about with the re-signing of Clarissa Shields and all the stuff that's there with that. Shout out to Salita Promotions for coming through. That's definitely one that's going to be a good thing to be checking out. I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got to say. I'm looking forward to hearing about them in this new contract. It's going to be good times. And it's John Cena's last match this weekend. Son of a bitch. But
I love Corey's reactions to the production of the show right now.
Yeah, we bring all the sounds on here because anybody that's not booing at the fact that John Cena is going to be done, dude.
The producer of tonight's show is the Masked Man from WWE. That's what's going on. We don't know who it is. But.
We got to talk about that too. Who's going to be the Masked Man, dude? So we got to talk about that.
It was you. I thought it was you this whole time.
I do look good in a black hoodie and sweats. I was not trying to hit a lick on somebody, but I might have.
For some reason, I can never get a hold of you.
Games.
So for some reason,
the problem is this time I have a plausible alibi. My alibi is that I was at our Survivor Series party with our guys Ant and Corey Woods and all that. So this time that I might not have been the guy inside War Games, but I'm interested in seeing who we got on that. We'll have to talk about who we think some of our picks are there. But like I said, I definitely want to give a shout out to our guys over at Mitten Muay Thai. It's definitely going to be one to watch this weekend. We also were going to get a little bit into UFC 323 and what we saw there as well. I don't know, man. I feel really bad for Pantoja after that. It's it's a nasty way to go, but how are y'all doing on a Thursday, dude?
Is it Thursday? Jesus.
Thursday.
Man.
Almost there.
Listen, I don't even know. It's been dark. Like I feel like we live in Alaska. It's dark and cold constantly, so kind of lost track of my time, but to play off what you said about Pantoja, Corey made a good point before we started the show. I don't think it was a solid break of the arm, right? So it was a joint break type gig. So it doesn't require surgery.
It still looked nasty.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So he got lucky, but the fight part sucked, for the sport, for the belt. Never a good look to see that, but hey, it is what it is. Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse, absolutely, with the way he fell and stuff like that. I mean, we've seen it a million times where people do fall that, in that form and fashion, but you could just see it from the way he kind of posted. He didn't have his elbow oriented in the right direction. So once the pressure did get applied, it was immediately to the joint in the wrong direction. That being said, like I had mentioned before we went live, for me, my biggest takeaway was congrats, Van. I mean, he's going to make some more money out of the gig. He might even get a potential title defense before Pantoja's even ready, or at least attempted at,
I mean,
But
I
that
want to
being
say
said,
something off of what you just said, though. Like, I feel like a lot of people were automatically like, "Oh, that's not a real title win. Joshua Van, isn't a real bro. That's not his
circumstance or
fault.
circumstances. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
not
it's
his fault. At the end of the day, that's like saying, okay, I'm going to give you $1 million. You and this guy got a race. He breaks his ankle. Well, he broke his ankle. Right. Do you still want the $1 million? No, I don't want the $1 million.
Yeah.
Dude, he's still the first world champion from Miramar. That's historic in what he did. It's not his fault in what happened. He caught Pantoja's kick, even if the kick, had landed a little bit to him. So at the end of the day, dude, it is what it is. I hope Pantoja. Go ahead.
Did you see what Pantoja said?
Mm-mm.
That's because I feel like you're illustrating the point that he kind of made exactly, and that's Pantoja said after the fact that it was basically God's plan and destiny for Joshua Van to win the title that night. It was unforeseen circumstances. He's happy for the kid, to go out there and be, like you just said, Kyle, all the first Asian country, UFC champion. There is a huge thing for him winning the championship. That being said, there's also, it leads into a bigger fight in the future for Pantoja, even though maybe it might hurt him monetarily. I think when it comes to career and legacy and stuff like that, everybody who's a real fight fan will know know that's how that fight went. It wasn't like he got knocked out. It wasn't like he got submitted or something like that. It was a clean break.
The first 30 seconds.
Early in the fight, we didn't get to really see anything. So if he gets right back in there 6-8 months from now, goes in there and dominates, whether that's Josh Van or whoever the potential next champion is, if they do end up having another fight, I don't think it really hurts him. If anything, I think it kind of adds to the legacy of, like, look at what he was able to persevere through. You know what I mean?
And you think he gets? You think he's right back in the title shot when he comes back?
How could he not?
Should be.
I think he should be. I think he should be.
I don't really see how he can't be. I just that's.
Yeah.
I don't really see any way it goes, especially with the longevity of his title reign, the way he's dominated everybody. Like, there's nowhere else you go after that, I feel like. I mean,
I agree.
And again, that's no disrespect to Joshua Van, dude, but like, how is that? I mean, I don't want to see Pantoja fight anybody else in a title eliminator or no shit like that.
No, he should,
no.
Absolutely shouldn't have to. There's circumstances where we see immediate rematches, and a lot of the MMA fans are like, he's just a UFC favorite. He's just this. They just want him as the champ. This is not one of those circumstances. This was just the fight there was no fight. We didn't get to see the fight. We didn't get to see anything play out the way. You can't say, oh, he was losing. You can't hit him with, like, when Bilal got his title shot against Leon Edwards, and everybody was like, we seen how he just fought him 3 years ago and got his ass whooped in the first round. There's none of that. Even there's nothing to try to say anything to take away from why he shouldn't be there. And not only that, with all the back and forth that he's done throughout the division and just clearing of the top 5, top 10 of the, realistically, there's just now starting to be some new contenders, but that doesn't mean they should overstep the fact that once he's healthy, he's back in there.
Right. I agree.
Well, the other storyline coming out of UFC 323 that I wanted to talk about with Mason, being that he fights in Muay Thai, and the regularity with how much they fight in Muay Thai, was, you got to wonder, did the activity of Merab catch up to him fighting 4 times in a year and then fighting the level of competition that he's fighting? I mean, but then again, I can't even sit here with a straight face and fully say that either, because that's the best I might have ever seen Petr Yan ever look. Dude. Like, he looked great wrestling. He looked great on his feet. He took Merab down twice. Like, that was Dude, that was nasty. And hats off to Petrian. I think Merab, earns an immediate rematch there, but I just didn't see that fight going that way, much less him taking Merab down twice when Merab had all those takedown attempts.
Yeah, when this fight card was announced, I was like, man, what a way to give both of these champs like a way to really send off the ESPN era. Like both of these dominant champs are about to go in there and dominate again. We're about to have and still, for both of them. And then the way the cards played out, it was not the case. And one of them being an injury, like we had just mentioned, but for the other one, it was really such a surprise to me to see the evolution of Peter Yan in that fight, or Petro Yan, or however you want to say Peter.
How do we say
Russian
name?
Peter?
I've been saying his name for years.
We're saying Russian Peter. That's what I'm going with. But that being said, he really surprised me with how he was able to shut down Merab. He was the one applying the pressure. He never let the machine really get started. I feel like, Merab was landing some decent shots and stuff. He had his couple moments there, here and there, but it was just Jan leading the dance throughout. And that was really, it was such a surprise to me to see. I think it kind of is, Kyle, like you were saying, the 4 title defenses in a year. That's a lot. No matter how you try to cut the cookie,
defenses, it's the camps, dude. Like the guy was in camp all year.
But that being said, I also feel like Merab's one of them guys that seems like he thrives in that type of environment too. So I don't.
Sure, you can.
I don't know. I don't.
But everybody's body has like a threshold, especially when you're the type of guy like Merab, like you just said, who spars on the day of a fight.
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game there.
And I don't know what he walks around in, but does he cut a lot of weight for these fights?
That I don't know what he walks around at, but I mean,
he definitely.
And I'm not saying to change anything. I'm just saying when you're doing 4 fights a year, dude.
If you're cutting weight like that 4 times a year, dude, that can't be great for your game.
Or even if you're not cutting weight 4 times, holding your weight at around your fight weight.
Watching a lot of the podcasts and stuff too. Ray Longo is on the John Anik show all the time, and he talks about how Merab is kind of old school, with his weight cut. He's not nutritionist based. He's not, he just goes in there and fucking sweats it out. You know what I mean? So when you're talking at the top level of the sport and you're not, doing the things that you can to try to mitigate the effects of cutting weight, and then you're also doing it that many times throughout the year.
See, I mean,
it's got to take a toll on your body.
I feel like some people do it that way until they. Well, I mean, I feel like some people do it that way until they, they realize that they have to do it smarter, just whether it be for your own health and easier, an easier ride through the fight. Like, I mean, if it's always worked for him that way, I mean, nobody's really been able to touch Merab. So it's been one of those things where, okay, if I do it that way every time and I go in there and kick everybody's ass, well, then why am I going to have a problem? Now, if he goes back and looks and says, okay, well, I had a hard time with my weight cut this time and I felt like sucked out during the fight or whatever the case, well, then now maybe that's where he brings in a nutritionist or something like that. But I mean, that's trial and error like anybody does. And
at the same time, I feel like we're making a lot of excuses for him, but Peter Yan just looked better.
No, Peter Yan did exactly what Peter Yan was supposed to do. I'm saying in terms of like, are we going to see a different Merab or a different result or a different fight? If they run it back, I think you can, because he might not be as sucked out. But then again, that's the best Peter Yan I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or at least the best Peter Yan 100%. I've seen in a long time. And then to take him down multiple times was nuts. That was
also nuts. I feel like Merab's Merab, right? Like, I don't think he's going to like game plan some master thing that's going to change up his game plan and really change his style or something. what makes him successful is also could potentially be his curse, in the sense that I don't know that he can necessarily switch up the game plan a ton. He's just got to be that guy that spams takedowns, whether successful or not, but just applies that pressure, keeps hands in your face, and and if Petrian or whatever, whoever it is able to mitigate that again, like we just seen. I mean, that was a hard to argue with performance. I mean, not to really the differentiating factor to me was the ability for Jan to keep the pressure the whole time. He was the one in control of the dance. He never let Merab be the one that was backing him up, like what happens in all of Merab's fights. Seems like everybody tries to control the range with Merab, and it seems like maybe the opposite needs to be the case, and have Merab be the one trying to control the range and you just be in his face, because that definitely was more successful that night.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, he made Merab, used Merab's type of fight against him. So
yeah.
The other noteworthy thing before we get on to what could be some somber news of this weekend, you got the end of Triple C, Henry Cejudo against Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot is for real. To hit the takedowns he did on Henry Cejudo was bananas. Mm-hmm. And then for him to say that it was a takedown that Henry taught him, like, I mean, I think that was like the passing of the torch, like we talk about with wrestling all the time. Great fight. They beat the shit out of each other. I'm glad that Henry got a bonus, but I mean, Peyton Talbot's the truth, and I think that just proves that it's time for Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought, to start my, I guess, rant about Henry Cejudo, who would have thought when he retired that he would have stayed retired for close to 4 years, and then once he did come back, he would get the immediate title shot. He went against Aljo, was a super close fight. I don't know if you guys remember that one or not. Super close, could have been either way. It was like, for sure, one round was a difference maker type of deal. Doesn't ultimately go his way. From there, he's now on a 3 fight after that fact, so a 4 fight to end his career streak of losses. And I mean, I'm not saying like he wasn't fighting, top tier talent and stuff along the way, but to see where he was when he left the sport, and then to see where the sport has now succeeded him in just that 4-year span was really shocking to me. I mean, we seen him come back, and like I say, he was so close to winning the title, but then it just seemed like, I don't know if he lost the luster or didn't have that same push, didn't think he was Triple C no more, and had the, didn't have the momentum in his side, or whatever the case was. But it seemed like these last couple fights before this Peyton Talbot one weren't the same guy at all. This one, he at least looked like he was very tested. He looked outskilled in almost every aspect of the game, which was really surprising to me, honestly. And then at least once he got checked this time, because there was like 2 moments in there where he could have for sure got finished. A couple of the body shots, and then it looked like, I forget the exact moment, one of the headshots. And instead, he bit down on his mouthpiece, fought through it, swung back. At least he ended his career in that fashion. At least people will think back of that time where he was able to bite down and stuff like that. I feel like he hurt himself so much by leaving when he left the sport. He was at the top of the sport. He was, champ. He was the guy. Like, I mean, I don't know. It seems like he's one of them guys where people love to kind of forget about just how big he got for a moment. Yeah. And he really was. He won both divisions. He defended both belts. He was that guy. He was the guy that we were talking about with like Merab right now, where it's like, man, how is somebody going to beat him? And I mean, shout out an amazing career is what I would like to round my point out with. Definitely was a fan of him. Besides the cringy aspects of it, it was laughable in a lot of
Yeah.
moments, right? Like the TJ Dillashaw, the freaking stuffed animal snake, and
Yeah.
like all the dumb stuff. It was laughable in a lot of moments, but his career was not. And I like to remember him in the aspect of what we seen that night with the biting down on the mouthpiece and stuff. But I feel like he did himself a really big disservice by leaving the sport when he did, is for as long as he did. Especially if he would have been gone for 2 years and tried to make a family or do whatever he was trying to do in those couple years, fine. Nearing on 4 years is just too long to try to come back into a sport and be, top level competitive.
Sport don't wait for anybody, bro.
Hey man, Father Time is undefeated. You can't
Right.
argue with the fact that he's one of the best of all time, dude. You know what he's done between the Olympic stuff, and then to win 2 titles and to be a simultaneous champion, which he's only one of like 3 or 4 of those. So
Yeah.
can't take anything away from Henry Cejudo. Respect on a good career. And, I'm glad that, Dana hooked him up with a bonus on the way out. But, dude, speaking of ending out a career, dude, we're going to see the end of John Cena this weekend, bro. We've seen the Time Is Now tournament. We've seen that it's going to be Gunther against Cena in the last match here. J-Bone, what do you think? What do you think the overall, like, when we get through this, what do you think people are like? What do you think the emotions are right now as far as like Cena's career? Like, I feel like a lot of the people that we saw hate on Cena for so long are now like, damn, dude, like,
hey, I'm one of them, bro. I'll be honest with you. There was a point in time where I just didn't care. He just wasn't my cup of tea. But you cannot disregard the fact that he did it the right way. He earned everything he did in his entire career. The hustle, loyalty, respect thing, that is definitely a real moniker for him in real life. So you can't deny any of the accolades he's got. And all you can do is respect it. And if you don't respect it, you're not really a true fan, because we watched him put in the work, some of the greatest moments in wrestling. And that's why I feel like that's why he's so respected on the way out. And that's why it's such a big deal. I don't think it's going to hit anybody until Saturday night's over. Once Saturday night's over, they're going to be like, oh, wow, like that's it. Because he's a man of his word. You're not going to get him at the Royal Rumbles. You're not going to get
I was
him.
going to say, I really, unless something
not.
changed between now and then, but I don't see it, dude.
I don't think it will.
I really don't think.
You're not going to get him as surprise appearance. You might get him for a few things, like when ESPN does this, maybe a few like appearances, but I don't think you're going to see him in the ring again. So I know in WWE's world, you never say never, but I really think he's going to stick to his guns when it comes to this. And hey, I don't know if you guys watched him on the Joe Rogan podcast, but he made a good point. He said, come Royal Rumble, this is all going to be over and they're going to forget about me and move on to the next guy. That's just the way the wrestling world works. But I feel like with the way they're doing it, they're really doing a great job in leaving like a very good impression on John Cena, and he deserves it, man. You know what I mean? You can't deny that. He has carried this company for, what was it, 25 years? The guy has been relevant, on the top, and hey, Mount Rushmore wrestling, if you ask me.
And even when you go back to talk about like the last run and stuff, right? Like obviously we started with the heel turn, and the heel turn didn't go the way everybody kind of like had hoped for or expected, whether that be because of like how it was booked, whether that be because we didn't have The Rock to kind of finish it out, whatever. What up, though, Chris? Whatever the reasoning, I think we can all agree that maybe we're talking Cena in his final run. Chris, what are your thoughts on that? But obviously we can all agree for the most part. I would think that most people would, that I think that the heel turn didn't really go how they wanted to. And I think when they realized that, I think they were smart in doing like an about face, and kind of bringing back Cena, because ultimately I agree with you. I think people people want to cheer John Cena, whether they liked him, didn't like him, whatever. I think we're at the point now where people are like starting to respect him, where it's like, damn, dude, like, okay, we may not always like this dude, but you can't deny like what that dude's like put in, what that guy's done as far as the business and all that stuff. And, you know, again, you got to give Cena credit too in the fact that, okay, yeah, now he's getting into TV, now he's getting into more movies, but he never like took a bunch of time off of WWE to go do that like The Rock did, where The Rock just went completely away from wrestling for however long that was, and then came back, you know, came back here and then came back here. Cena was WWE until, you know, late in his career. And then I think that Cena's last run is going to set a blueprint for what a lot of the guys like that are left from that generation try to do, or what they would like to see happen. You know, like in the final run, in terms of like a lot of times you really kind of see like one last story, and then it's built up to that story, and then there's that match, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I think now we're going to see more like what we're seeing with Cena, to where it's like a retirement run, where like we go through a list of his biggest enemies, biggest feuds, whatever it is, you know. And I think that gives you, I think that's even better, because now, you know, you're getting like that full last ride of it, dude. And I think that the tournament really ended up helping a lot of people too, because even Dom Mysterio, who wasn't in the tournament, to get the rub facing Cena, to win the Intercontinental title back from Cena, in the final run, and then for Cena to get to be Grand Slam champ in the final run, that was dope.
I think it all worked out.
I mean, part of me still wishes that we would have got to see him and Lesnar kind of tangle it up one more time, with just the way that Lesnar beat the ever-living dog shit out of John Cena. Like, I mean, he beat the
with
shit
no get back either. With no get back.
I know, that's like the one thing for me,
just
where I'm just like,
bro.
damn, dude, they beat the shit out of that man. He got like thrown everywhere you could get thrown, suplex 25 million times, and then see you, fuck you, bye.
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
That was pretty much how that match went. I'm not even mad that
you check out the tribute video they put up today. WWE put up today for John Cena.
I haven't seen that yet.
I got it up right now. Essentially, it's just all the superstars just pretty much saying thank you, you know, and then they're showing little clips from you know those guys tangling it up. But Brock Lesnar is one of the only guys. He just holds up a sign and just says, "I see you." That's it. Like, still heel Brock Lesnar, dude, holding it down. But it's funny because everybody else is paying tribute except for Brock.
It also kind of brings up a thing too, to where like you realize like Brock is still looks like $1 million, but shit, Brock's, you know, part of that class with Cena too.
Yeah, Brock and Randy,
pretty much the same era, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, they were literally in the same developmental class. It was him. It was them two, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton, and then Batista
was nearby.
Batista was too. So you had Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar, Batista, Randy Orton. You know, like, dude, can you tell me a better class than that? Like, are you fucking crazy?
Kyle, so for Saturday, how do you vision it playing out with him and Gunther, or even I guess just the whole show production wise in a whole? How do you view?
I think Cena and them got to go last. I've heard people say that they're going first, but you can't.
I seen a thing today that said that was just a false rumor. They're definitely going to.
Dude, they gotta go last, man, because you got to leave Cena to have the ring, right?
Yeah.
And I really like the fact that they're gonna have the Bailey versus Sol Ruka match in there. We're gonna have Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus AJ and Dragon Lee. I like that we're gonna have Cody versus Obafemi is gonna be badass. So I love that we're getting other matches than just them. But the fact that he wanted to, like, you know, have NXT kind of get put over on such a big stage too, I really like that, and I like the matchups. I definitely want to talk about each one of the matchups. I think that it's going to be a badass night of wrestling, and I think it's definitely going to kick everybody in the feels. But I think that the matches were very well, like, they were very well put together, like, to steal like a fight term. Like, the matchmaking was really good on this one. Like,
I mean, you even
we'll
got
start.
the kid from TNA over there.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, we'll start with the ladies, dude. But like Sol Ruka versus Bailey, like,
Great. I
talk
love that
about
one.
step
I
up.
love
If
that
that
one for
doesn't,
many reasons.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely gonna be visually appealing. But I mean, bro, like, Sol Ruka is like the next hot star in NXT right now. I feel like in a lot of ways, she's got one of the dopest finishing moves in all of pro wrestling at this point, bar none, point blank. Period. The Soul Snatcher is badass. I don't care who it is. That's probably the dopest finishing move in pro wrestling right now. Number two, even though I think we all could agree we'd like to see a little bit more done with Bailey at times, anyone that really knows what time it is knows Bailey is like the OG. Which, speaking of which, she just did that whole big camp that everybody's been talking about with that Lodestone. Which, shout out to Danny Moe and past guests of the show, the Kick Demon Janai Kai being invited to that. They had like Charlotte Flair's there, Bailey's there. You got Roxanne Perez is there. You got Bianca Belair's there. Like, she puts together this camp and then brings through like a who's who of killers. John Cena was there training.
I was about to say,
like, what the fuck? Like, the guy's getting ready to have his last match, and you get to pick his brain, and then he's watching practice matches for you to get better like that. Like, you talk about giving back to the business or help trying to make people better. Like, again, I think that shows why Bailey will always kind of be a hidden treasure, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that match. I think that match is going to steal the show. I feel like Bailey's going to get the win. I think somehow there will be some fuckery with Soul and Zarya, but I think that match is going to be amazing. Then, you already brought it up. You got Javon Evans and Leon Slater, which might be one of the most exciting. Dude, that might be one of the most exciting tag teams I've ever seen. Like, I fucking
that is going to be a don't blink match, dude.
Dude, with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, come on, man.
Yeah, I hope the camera guys got their running shoes because they're gonna be all over the place.
Dude, that shit is gonna be
watch. And the fact that they get to do it on primetime TV, that is gonna be great. I hope they're at like a good spot in that show where everybody's watching because you are not gonna want to miss that one.
I've heard a few people talk about it already, but kind of how we saw things happen with Joe Hendry, where Joe Hendry kind of was like a big star on NXT, even though technically he was with TNA. Leon Slater's that next guy I want to be that.
Yeah.
If TNA guys are now being looked at by WWE, which I think they have been the whole time that they've been doing this relationship, dude, mark my fucking words. You want another guy that I think should get picked up the same way Jordan Grace did, the same way Joe Hendry did. Give me Leon Slater, dog.
Yeah.
Leon Slater is only 21 years old, bro.
Big facts.
21 years old.
Like I said, like you said, I think that's volumes to his works because John Cena helped pick this whole card, as they say, if that's a thing.
What up, though, Ryan? Who still is what? I believe. Yeah, Joe Hendry's that guy, dude. But I'm just saying, Leon Slater is next up, dude. That Swanton 450, and then them two as a tag team. Like, shit, I usually don't like saying, hey, put guys in a tag team, but shit, dude, if we're gonna put them as a tag team for a minute while they're like both in NXT real quick, bro, run that shit.
They are definitely the future right there, man. So that's something to watch. You don't want to miss
insane. That. And I definitely wouldn't be mad at seeing those guys run it back. Although I gotta say, I don't know how I liked Javon cashing in the Iron Survivor that quick. I kind of feel like he kind of got done bogue through that. Like he won it the night before. I mean, then again, chances make champions, but I just feel like, damn, that just puts him back down the
I don't
down
know.
the rung
I think
with that.
they may have something bigger for that kid. I mean, I would look out for Royal.
Yeah, that's a nasty tag team, fun to watch.
Royal Rumble's coming, dude, and if I try not to play into the dirt sheets and the rumor mills, but Royal Rumble is coming, and this could be definitely a audition stage on Saturday for these guys. Because if you can do it on NBC, you can do it on ESPN. So that Royal Rumble's coming, and they need bodies for that Royal Rumble. So I would love to see Javon Evans in the Royal Rumble, if that's where we're headed with that. So,
dude, okay. So now that we've talked about that, we've got Cody Rhodes and Obafemi are going at it now. I'm not gonna lie. So before we get to the actual match, was there part in Ryan and Chris, for you guys watching in the comments, anybody else who's watching, says we got about 125 of you guys in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, share button. Make sure you hit the button, subscribe, all those things. If you're watching on Millions, feel free to go buy a Knockouts and 3 Count shirt. But are you mad at all that it wasn't Ricky Saints to get to face Cody? Like, and to give, to Phil Corey in, or anybody that doesn't know all the backstory and all that. But I mean, remember, Cody started AEW. Ricky Saints was one of his guys, kind of gave Ricky Saints the chance to face Cody when he was doing the open challenge, and that's how he got signed to AEW. Cody leaves, bets on himself, and then Ricky Saints basically does the same thing and then comes over to WWE, wins the NXT championship, and the winner of that match between him and Oba would face Cody on Saturday night's main event. Part of me wishes we could have saw what that face-off would be, but man, wouldn't that have been just like the biggest fuck you to AEW?
It would have, but I think obviously we're going to get that down the line. And at this point,
got to.
Ricky Saints can't get worse. He's only going to get better. So his value and his stock is going to keep growing. And when we see that matchup finally, it's going to be at a perfect time. It's going to be better. And I just think we got to wait. We just want it now because we're wrestling fans. And we
Ryan
want
says
now,
he prefers Femi. I think
I dig it. I dig it, dude.
I like
he
that.
Deserves it. He definitely deserves it.
The difference in the sizes and stuff is going to make that a match that's going to be like visually like, okay, what is Cody going to do with this? Because even though mainstream wrestling fans might not know who Obafemi is, it's going to take about 2 minutes of that motherfucker getting his hands on Cody Rhodes to realize, oh shit, there's a reason they called this dude the ruler. I am really looking forward to that. Corey's going to end up jumping out of here in a few minutes. Like I mentioned, for anybody who is fresh in here, if you guys are fans of the fights, Tony Harrison will be joining the show next week to talk about his fight before he goes to war again here in the city, Fox Theater, February 20th. Make sure you guys are there, along with past guests of the show, Olivia Curry, running it back with Kay Scott. Coming from down under, they're going to be fighting for the WBC and WBA belts. Make sure you guys check that out if you guys are in the Michigan area. That brings us to, like I said, John Cena's last match. I can only really speak for me, but I think at this point, wrestling fans as a whole are really kind of getting to the point where they realize like the totality of what Cena's done, like what his career really means. And I mean, I'm just using it as kind of like a barometer, but it's kind of like the same thing as like Hulk Hogan. Obviously, a lot of people still don't like Hulk Hogan, but I'm saying like, I think it's not too far to say that John Cena is like this generation's version of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
With
fair.
the bright colored t-shirts and the hustle, loyalty, respect, and all the kids and the armbands and all. He's that guy for this generation, right? And as I mentioned kind of when we got to the top of Saturday night's main event, I really think that although, yes, there are things I wish we could have seen a little bit better as far as like, different things that we could have maybe seen, whether that be matchups or how they did things for the final run. Like, all in all, bro, I'm not mad at it. And like, the only thing I will say, and I want to get your opinion before we talk about the match, what are your thoughts on it being, do you think it should have been LA Knight? Do you think LA Knight needed it more than Gunther? Or do you
I
think Gunther
LA
is
Knight
the right
needs
pick?
LA Knight needs a lot right now. I feel like they got to go a different direction because Gunther is going to be there for the future, for the foreseeable future, and Gunther is your guy. He is your future in WWE, and he's earned it. And I think John Cena knows that too. But no, I think it's fine. I don't think there's an issue with it. I don't want him to win though. I do not want to see John Cena lose on his final night. I understand the passing of the torch and all that, but I don't. Why? What? I mean, it's not going to take anything away from Gunther. We know Gunther's a badass. Why not leave happy? Why not let John Cena enjoy his last night? Hands up, everybody cheering John Cena on the way out. You got one final win.
But do you think that Cena would want to go out like that? Is what I'm saying. Though.
No,
like
that's
you
the problem.
know, Cena's super old school, bro. Like he's
super old school.
I'm
just speaking as a fan. This is what I want to see, but I don't think Cena wants that either. But hey, at the end of the day, as he's been very expressive about it. He's not making the calls. He's not the one making the decisions here. He said that very firmly on these podcasts that he's been running through. And if I'm writing it, I think for the fans specifically, you want to see him get a dub. We want to see Super Cena one more time. We all know what the reality is. Gunther's a bad dude. He could probably choke him out. But why not just give it to us one more time? Last hoorah. Let him go out in a blaze of glory, just hands up, fireworks going. And then after that, I want to see everybody in that locker room come out to the stage and clap him out. That's what I want to see.
So Ryan and everybody that's watching, feel free to drop in the comments. I want to know what you guys think about this matchup and all this stuff. You know, it's ironic that we're talking about this because, like, I literally was talking about this with my mom before we went live. That I've been a fan of Gunther since he used to be Walter, man. Before he ever got into WWE,
big boy Walter.
Absolutely, dude. And then when you add to that, so. I was a fan of him, but I remember watching this dude back in the Evolve and Progress days where we're in the Knights of Columbus and Livonia, and I'm seeing this dude to see how he's like progressed, you know, not only getting in WWE, but becoming like a main event guy, not just in NXT, but then to do what he's done in the main roster. Because remember, at first there was a lot of talk that he didn't want to come over and wrestle in America. So we always thought it was going to be like an NXT UK thing. And then now for him, fast forward to the night that CM Punk returns to WWE, that's the first WWE press conference I get to work. And I'm not even supposed to be in there, and the only guy I get to ask questions to is Gunther. And I talked to him about being a double champion. And now you fast forward, the guy's had a damn good world championship run, record-setting intercontinental title run. Now he's going to be the guy who wrestles Cena in his last match. I think Cena could win, and then like. I still, part of me wants to see Brock get involved in this shit somehow, dude. I really do. Like,
I think a few people are going to get involved. To be honest, I think we're going to get a.
Well, I don't know if I want to see that in like the I don't know if I want to see that in the match though. Like, I want to see Cena get to have like one more banger. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him have one more banger. I want to see him have one more like Cena match and really get people into it. And then I don't know, maybe Brock comes out to fuck up the night or something. I don't know.
Hey, Cody still owes him a favor. So Cody still owes him a favor from WrestleMania when he came out and helped him at Mania to win the title.
That's a take. What do you think about what Ryan said? He says, I hope we get a surprise and Gunther doesn't enter the ring. Black hoodie guy takes him out and Jericho countdown takes over.
That'd be the best day of my life. I would love that. I don't care about nothing else. Wipe it all away.
Countdown thing comes up on the Titantron and you see the 10, 9, 8, 7, and then break the walls hit. Son of a bitch.
Oh, that'd be one of the greatest moments in wrestling history, dude. That would be unbelievable.
That would be insane, but I still, like I said, I think I want to see Cena kind of have that last match. You know what I mean? Like, but I just somehow want. I don't think we're ever going to see Cena wrestle another match like that again, but I'd love to see them tie up the loose end with Brock Lesnar, because I do think that regardless of how this match ends up with Cena, dude, we're getting Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. It's gonna happen. That's two big sumbitches, dude, and they're gonna beat the shit out of each other. Like,
and
that's
like
gonna
I said, this is an audition tape for these guys that are coming up, and Obafemi is one of those guys that are going to have to look
for
out
him
for
to
him.
get in there against Cody, bro.
You are on prime time against the
Cody's
champ,
the
dog.
guy.
They got a lot of faith in you to put you in that situation. So this is an audition for
I mean,
2026.
dude, Obafemi looks like $1 million, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, he's got that swagger to him for being so young, you know?
Dude.
Like, he's young to be like that. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got room to grow. There's still more that we can see from him. But dude, you talk about raw talent and like a presence when he comes out there, bro.
Gonna knock somebody's head off, dog. That's what it is.
He's one of them guys you look at him and say, that's not somebody I want to fuck with.
No.
Like,
no.
You look at him and say, that's somebody I don't want to fuck with, man. So I am looking forward to it. Hats off to John Cena. I know Tuesday next week we're going to be joined by Dimitri Salita, the promoter of Clarissa Shields. We're going to talk about re-signing her and her fight announcement with Frenchie. With her, I can't say her name right, and I don't want to butcher it. But like I said, I'm looking forward to that fight. And then on top of that, we've got the Fox fights that are going to be going down. But wrestling, our homie from Wrestling with Honey from Women's Wrestling Talk will be joining us. She's going to give us her thoughts after the whole John Cena thing goes down as well. Just so much great stuff on the horizon. Like I said, shout out to John Cena. Like, if you got something bad to say about John Cena and John Cena's career, are you really a wrestling fan right now? Like, I understand you might not be like the biggest fan of the guy, but again, I would say that it's a safe assumption to say that John Cena is on like that Hulk Hogan level tier of guys, especially with him breaking the record like that. There's a reason why WWE is going so hard to plug him as the the greatest of all time. So
maybe they'll raise the jorts at
they'll raise the jorts.
WWE headquarters. Raise the jorts in the rafters, bro.
Or what if in the Raptors, bro, they just put like one of every different colored T-shirt he's had over the years?
There you go.
Like have it just be like the rainbow flags all throughout this joint. You got like every, dude, I guess if we're talking about things that would be like bummers, my biggest two bummers are that we didn't see The Rock involved in this more. Shit, dude, I hope so. Shit, I hope so. That would be like the cherry on top, because I really do think that we might not see. I don't think we're gonna see John Cena again after this, dude. I really don't.
Not in the ring.
Like I think he might come back for like, hey, John Cena might be the guest host of Raw on whatever, or show up when it's like the whatever anniversary of Raw or the Netflix,
but as an active wrestler.
Yeah, I don't.
One more last hot take before we get out of here. One last hot take that I was thinking. I think they could close that show by announcing to Cena unknowingly that he will be inducted into the 2026 Hall of Fame.
Oh, totally. I think that could happen. Like, I mean,
if
there was ever a guy that better go into the fucking Hall of Fame
immediately.
Like, I think it wouldn't be a shock at all to have him be like the headliner, kind of like when The Undertaker went in, especially if he's going to go in and like do more movie stuff. So like this way he can kind of have like his final chapter, his final, like closure thing.
And damn it,
as far as
if they're going to do it the right way though, Kyle, we talked about this before. If we're going to do it the right way, there's only one person that can induct John Cena, and that's Kurt Angle. Do it that way. Could
you imagine if we would have gotten Cena versus Kurt Angle in his last match?
And we can't. So I feel like they have to do the Hall of Fame that way. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with that. And then he's got to bust out like the ruthless aggression line one more time. Yeah, dude. Hats off to John Cena. I'm looking forward to it. Again, shout out to Mason Shilaei. I am looking forward to being on the call for that. I will be around the press conference for Mitten Muay Thai. Make sure you check that out. Mitten Muay Thai going down this Saturday. Imperial House, Clinton Township, Michigan. Mason Shilaei versus Luke Marshall 2. We're going to run this one back. Let's see what happens with this one. And then, like I said, next week, a lot of boxing to talk about. We had Olivia Curry on last week to talk about her half of the main event against Kay Scott from Australia. And then, like I said, Tony Harrison will be joining the show next Thursday. Next Tuesday, we're going to be joined by Dimitri Salita to talk about re-signing Clarissa Shields, talk about Curry versus Scott, talk about the return of Tony Harrison and Clarissa Shields and all kinds of things. So, if you like fighting, if you like pro wrestling, this is the place you need to be at. And Ryan, you were watching JCW Lunacy next Sunday. Harpo's. I know you had a good time. JJ was the lady killer in there right quick. We need to go back down to JCW Lunacy. J-Bone, I say you need to come down to Harpo's with us, bro.
I might have to do that.
You heard it. Until next time, and in the in-between time, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you buy a shirt. Shout out to HK USA. Go get you some kick pads, some boxing gloves, and all the gloves. And happy holidays. We've also got the knockouts coming at the end of this month.
Ooh.
So you got to make sure you stay and hit the subscribe button for that. Until next time, and in the in-between time, stay warm out here. Try not to freeze your balls off. Peace.